To go live. Want to start the show a little bit early, 'cause I'm far away from home. How you doing, everybody? This is a content disclaimer, 'cause I'm making stuff up, making jokes and doing characters while I'm reading stuff and looking at videos. Hey, and you only wish that you could have thought this stuff up. Oh, Newsmax, you big old dirty bag of scumbags trying to sue me or whatever you're trying to do. Nobody cares. Hey, the song's going very well. Thank you. Thanks very much. Hold on. I got to check and see if I'm in tune. Yep, I'm in tune. So, get ready for a show tonight. It's Friday, and I'm feeling white. It's pretty true. I mean, honestly. Sorry, trigger warning. And here we go with the show tonight. Hey, doobity-doo. That's the best I got right now. I'm sorry. I'm in L.A., and I still haven't had time to dice up the studio here, because every time I'm in, I'm out right again, and that's exactly what's happening today, by the way. I don't know if you know this. Let me know if the audio's okay as well, because last time I was here, the audio was peaking on my side, but it was too quiet for you guys, and then it was crazy. Thanks. I'm glad you like the song. I wrote it myself. Yeah. And I've had that fair use disclaimer for quite some time because of the early days of getting hit with copyright strikes. None of which, by the way, qualify as in any way. I believe, do I qualify for any kind of? My dad's calling me. That's interesting. Hold on one second. We'll see if he wants to be on there. Hi, I'm on the air. What can I do? What can I do you for?
Well, I was just calling to see about next time you guys are doing a what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
When will it be?
FaceTime. Always Thursday. I'm on the air. Can I call you back after I'm done with my show?
You sure can, and I want to talk to you also about a bicycle.
Yes, indeed. Yes, okay. we have to have a bicycle conversation. All's well. Love you.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Love you.
That's my dad. You can tell by the country accent. There you go. We've got a lot to cover today. Obviously, the big story, I think there's lots of big stories, but one of the big stories, one of the many big stories, is the fact that Trump got teabagged by 2 judges this week, which is a rough way to go. And in the process of him trying to weasel his way out of facing any kind of comeuppance because he's special, in the process of doing that, he got told no twice, which is something he's not used to. And folks, I want to say right out of the gate, I was doing a podcast earlier today, and I've done a couple of interviews lately to try and promote the show, get the word out, do the extra due diligence, grow the show. There's only so much I can expect of you guys. You can only like and subscribe so much. But if I can't let people know where to find it, that's not on you. That's on me. But don't forget to share the show. But in the process of doing these interviews, I have, been very, aware of how, Rogan's gotten himself in trouble and all these other people who are talking off the cuff, and how much I talk on the show, and how pretty lucky we've been that I have not been misunderstood on any massive scale. And I look forward to that day when it comes, because I need the press. But it's fascinating to me to watch people try to divert away from their own massive problems. When they get caught, what their don't look at me, look over here, their David Blaine technique is, whatever it is. And with, obviously Fox is, because today it came out that Trump is going to have to testify, and that there were classified documents in the 15 boxes of stuff that he stole from the White House. Take something that isn't yours, don't tell anybody. That's the word for it, insofar as I know. And because that story is out, obviously Fox is wall-to-wall Canadian truckers and CRT and other stuff. Hilarious. And yeah. Oh, thank you, Tamara. Happy Friday to you as well. Thank you for the super chat. Putting that up there. Did it pop up on? It did. There you go. Hooray! Thank you so much. I'm going to try and get those up on screen when I can. Yes, he did. He looted them. That's an excellent one. Okay, so there's a lot of coverage of this. There's a lot of stuff going on. Well, let's jump right in, shall we? Here we go. Yeah, this is the tip of the dildo. Well, I don't know all these Navy terms that Steve Bannon uses for Mike Lindell. The tip of the pillow. The anchor for the rocket booster of the armor piercing shemp of Trumpistan, Mike Lindell, who apparently sent pillows to the truckers and was turned away. Now there's going to be some sort of good Lord. Thank you, Raphael. What pod was I on? I was on unlicensed therapy. They'll put it up when they put it up. Okay, hold on.
Mike Lindell.
Yeah. We're going to dump right out of this dude and go straight into Mike Lindell. How very sad. But yeah, in case you don't know, Mike Lindell never wanted to let an opportunity go by where he could use what some people might think is a deeply ethical, moral activity or belief system, like the Christianity that he purports to believe by wearing a cross around his neck, and I suppose the idea of freedom, which he allegedly believes in the process of this, allegedly believing, he sent unselfishly sent a giant truck full of pillows to these guys with a big MyPillow ad with a promo code on the side of it. You know, that the kind of selfless acts we expect.
Dell, Mike, you've got this involvement in Canada. They're blowing you up. I got to ask you.
Yeah, you've got this involvement in No, you don't. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have an involvement at all. He sent pillows so that he could use this as an opportunistic way of advertising his product.
Live on the show the other day, you got debanked.
He wasn't live on the show. He came on to bitch about it. He didn't get a text of it when he was on the air, did he?
Right. Our audience wants to know. Give us an update on that. You're not going to shut down my story. You're not going to shut down the network, the Christian.
No, he's all in on Ethereum and Bitcoin right now.
Network, the Mike Lindell Recovery Network. Tell us what's happening with the banking.
Yeah, believe me, the Mike Lindell Recovery Network is not going to have any problems since it has no money and spends no money. It's a referencing website so he can pat himself on the back. It sends them, like, people who are looking for help with their addiction. Thank you, Kathy. To a Yelp listing of the usual suspects in terms of people getting help for drug addiction.
Yeah, it's we've moved stuff over to a bank that wants us, and
yes. Wanami Bank in Upper Wanami, near the Wanami River. One of them, it's a tribal bank from the Wanama Money tribe. It's not a real tribe, but they it works. Look, I know a guy in a casino cage. He's letting me park the money there.
We've actually, now that would be our third bank that we're using, and I had a backup plan, so anyone out there worried Frank's speech is going to keep going on.
Yeah, we know you're paying for that with cash out of your pocket.
Lindell Recovery Network, Lindell TV, we're going to keep moving forward. And it was kind of ironic, Steve. They say if you give anything to the people in Canada, you get debanked. Well, I've already got it made, right?
Yeah, nobody said that.
Well, no, but I want to go. Christy Freeland.
The gelato lady just, somebody just leaked everybody's name. By the way, people who thought this was okay or weren't on the side of the white supremacists in this, if they're giving money to that because they think mandates are against freedom, I think they're dumb, but I don't believe they need to be shut down. They can be reasoned with as human beings.
Came out and talked about financing domestic terrorism up there, and the justice manager.
Well, yeah, because they're shipping guns up, dumbass.
As I said, if you're pro-Trump and giving resource supporting, you're in trouble. Watch out. What are you financing? Are you supporting or financing domestic terrorism in our great ally to the north, Canada?
Well, no. He's paying for American terrorists to take guns across the border. So technically, they wouldn't be domestic terrorists. They would be international. He's financing international terrorism by the standard you were just making. Steve, thanks for Mike Lindell. How does it feel to be the new Osama bin Laden?
Mike Lindell.
Satire.
Absolutely not. We're trying to get pillows to them and Bible pillows.
Yeah, Bible pillows
for the kids.
For the kids? What the hell does he think they have in these trucks? I gotta block this road. I got a truck full of children. Good Lord. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Gifting the subs. Bless you.
I've just got some reports here out of Canada. They're comparing the Freedom Convoy donations to terrorist financing. There's mysteriously a couple banks closed up there. I want to tell everybody.
Mysteriously. Yeah, these banks just, the mysterious bank closures.
This morning to get the truck across, and they mysteriously, it says, due to unforeseen circumstances, we are not giving out any more permits. Now, our permit was all we scheduled for this morning to get across. Now we got to divert the trucks to another location out by New York, and but we're going to get them across, Tom. And by the way, everybody,
I'm sorry. You're gonna get. Who are you talking to?
For this morning to get across. Now we got to divert the trucks to another location out by New York, and but we're going to get them across, Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Tom Bannon. If you don't know Tom Bannon, he's Steve Bannon's conjoined twin. Sometimes they just rotate in the seat. Thanks, Ray. Tom, who the fuck is Tom?
And by the way, everybody, I'm not bringing
Tom, Steve, everybody.
I'm not dropping pillows with little.
70 people were arrested today in Ottawa, and they were using the kids as shields. They won't need the pillows. Oh, good to know. And thanks, a lumpy house. Look at that, you guys.
Helicopters into Canada with little parachutes.
That was supposed to be a joke, I think.
Go back to because the Daily Beast stories were absurd.
Tom is the name of the growth on Steve Bannon's forehead. Is that what we're going with?
But let's go back to these permits. What do you mean they
Quaid
pulled your permits? You had permits. You had what, visas to go across? What did they actually pull? And what are you guys doing as a workaround?
Yeah. What are you doing as a workaround? Are you using the My Pillow airplane? Oh, you sold that, right?
They didn't pull it. It was an extra permit you had to get. We've hadn't had to get them before, and
well, you were never interfering with the international crossings before. You were just bringing pillows into the country.
Expedite ours. They were really good on the phone the last few days. They would normally take 5 days. They expedite it.
And then they realized, he's not bringing pillows into the country as a product to sell and paying tariffs on it like he normally does. He's bringing them in to give them to the people who are shutting down our downtown areas and blocking ambulances.
Getting it this morning, and when my trucker called this morning, he said,
I could so relate. You guys, haven't you gotten a call from your trucker? You know, who among us doesn't have their own trucker?
Said it was a recording. He said first time he got a recording. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we are not taking any calls.
Excuse me. I'm about to sneeze and nope. It's tickling right here. I had to spray myself with mosquito spray because that mosquito is back in the back house. Grumble.
And we will not be moving forward with any permits at this time.
Yeah, because they've got too many trucks that aren't doing anything, that are just gacking up the works.
So I don't know if we're still waiting to see if we got ours, but we're going to Plan C.
Yes, that. By the way, for all of you that don't know, Plan C is the name of the internet company he's using right now.
And we're moving trucks further east.
Yes, it's part of the strategic tip of the dildo plan.
But I also want to make sure people.
We're going to get them across in pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, the pillows in pieces. They're going to take them feather by feather, patented fill by patented fill. Hi, by the way, nice to meet you. Patented Phil, pleasure to meet you. It's a character I'm going to start.
But here's, I just want,
Hi.
we got a couple of minutes here. I just want people to know you've got a commitment. You've got a facility up in Canada.
Oh, Betsy, thank you so much. Oh, for the breaks, helping me out for my breaks. Thank you so much. Hold on. Where'd the mouse go? There it is. For, just contributing across, and the G-string. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. For my OnlyFans. Great.
You have Canadian workers. Mike Lindell's not some Johnny-come-lately. He's not out there stirring trouble. You've got a vested interest in what's going on.
No, he doesn't. That's the point. This truck is not for normal business. He wants an extra permit to take another truck across, allegedly initially full of product, which he would have to register with the government because he's selling products in a foreign country that he's bringing across the border. But he was like, fuck that. I don't need it. I'm Mike Pillow. And then they go, what are these pillows for? You going to sell them in one of your stores? Are you fulfilling orders? Nah. I'm going to give them to the guys gacking up your streets and stopping your ambulances and school buses and police officers.
Up there because you have a plant, you have employees, you have...
regular people trying to get to and from work.
You have facilities, is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we have a facility up in Canada about an hour and a half out of Ottawa, but we don't have enough supplies there to give the truckers because of they canceled this in Canada when they did My Pillow in the United States. That the shopping channel up there and all the rotten box stores, the bed, bathroom beyond.
This is great. By the way, super high quality. I can't help but picture Brannon House, the guy who runs Lindell TV, laughing his ass off as he's eating a steak dinner with a nice Sauvignon Blanc. Now you wouldn't eat that. That's white wine. You don't have that with steak. Well, he would. Never mind. Point I'm trying to make: eating high on the hog, while Mike's in a shitty Ottawa hotel running on the Motel 6 Wi-Fi.
And so we were bringing them from my Minnesota plant, and we worked very hard to make all these, my employees, and we're going to get them up there, Steve. We got a bunch of truckers have gotten.
Wait a minute. You have a facility up there that makes pillows in Canada, and they don't have the materials you need, but they don't really need them anymore because you've been canceled by the big box stores. So your people made pillows to give to. This is a bullshit story.
No, we're going to take them over in different groups and smaller lots, smaller.
Yeah, pocket pillows they're called, and I don't approve of their use.
Lots, so maybe 3,000-4,000 at a time.
Mike, we've got a minute here. I want to talk about Lindell TV, your show, because this is what they're trying to shut down.
Because that's what you're insisting I talk about, so that you'll give me ad money, so that I can keep my code, whatever it is, Tom666 promo code Tom666.
That's why they pulled the bank lines on you. You got a minute. Walk through people, how they get to you, how they watch your show, and why are they so nervous about this? Why all of a sudden Lindell's got his own TV deal, and they're in panic? Mike Lindell.
Well, they're not in panic. They're just not going to finance it, and it looks bad for the bank. And they're like, I don't necessarily want to put my money in a bank that supports the extrajudicial overthrow of our government. It's just By the way, I'm glad that Tom Bannon, I always get it mixed up, and Mike Pillow, Tom Pillow, I need to say I appreciate that both of them are coming out in support of OnlyFans artists and porn stars especially, and I suppose sex workers of all sorts who have been bumped off of Visa and MasterCard and banking systems and PayPal and stuff like that because people don't morally want to share a site with somebody earning a living using their body in some way they find morally reprehensible. I'm certain that Mike Pillow and Steve Bannon are for these folks being reinstated a fucking sap. Sorry. Speaking of a fucking sap. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, they want to take away our voice, everybody. That's if you take away a voice, if you don't have a voice, it's over.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't have good internet, what good is having a voice even?
And they trying to do this since January 7th to the world, to everyone else in the world,
Right.
since January 7th of 2021.
Since January 7th of 20. Oh, I see. You mean right after a murderous mob stormed the Capitol and tried to overturn our democracy, handed over to a would-be dictator so he could cling to power? You mean that? I don't know why people get touchy about that. Why are they so sensitive about that? Ask Tom. Hype train.
Yeah, Lindell TV. It's 24/7 on free speech, and my show is every night at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and we do just like you do, Steve. We just keep reporting.
Oh, Jesus. We do just like you, Steve. We talk out of our ass endlessly. And yeah, seriously, Kevin. Is it Cavan? I think it's Cavan. I'm going to go with that, Cavan. The fascinating part of this is that he has been reduced to the lowest part of his life, which is basically doing what I do, which is having to live stream at a certain time every night. I happen to love it and did it by choice. This is the wind down for him. The same as Trump. Trump's selling a coffee table book. I mean, they're in the ladder of life. There's President of the United States selling a coffee table book.
What's going on? The positives, everybody. There are so many positive things going on out there. Those truckers in Canada, all the stuff it's manifesting to, we're going to...
By the way, I got to say, the symbology with the cross and the partial flag, and why it has 8 stars for no other reason than just kind of aesthetic. It concerns me that we're going to find out there's a meaning behind 8 stars and 3 stripes, right? Oh, good. I'm glad I got it right. It looks a little prison gang Peckerwood German flag is what it looks like.
Go into Canada now, and these mandates are getting pulled down. Hopefully, that's the start of something around the world.
Yeah, it is, and it has. It is. It is. It's the start of. And you know what? Though it has nothing to do with the truckers. These truckers that are going to they're going to drive to D.C. and end up there in a couple of weeks. They're going to get there after most of the mask mandates and stuff are gone. Time moves forward. You're not making progress. Life is changing under your feet, dum-dum. Ugh.
Get our freedoms back, because if we lose our voice, we lose it all. If they cancel our voice, we lose it all.
Yeah, I feel so moved. If they cancel our voice, and thank God he's got a backup, because he's got Lindell TV and Frank Speech, and they just air the same thing on 2 separate websites. I mean, honestly. Oh, thank you, Sylvia, and from Canada even. Bless your heart for doing that. I appreciate it. Oops, I opened up my screen. Cancel. Move that there. There you go. Thank you. All right. So we have a bunch today. Obviously, you can look at Mike Lindell's face and say to yourself, this is the face of a man who feels like he's winning, who believes the best days are ahead of him, and this is they're in such, as he often says, they're in such a better place than they were. They're so much further ahead. They're this close to being that far away. We need to find some way to let's see, can I do that on here? I probably can. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-dum, boom, da-da-da-dum, da-dum, 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 oh, boom, da-da-da-dum, ba-do, da-da-da-dum, ba-do, ba-bum, 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 bum, bum. Sorry, now I got to back the whole thing out. My bad. Sorry. I don't have the technology to just do it really quick. All right, so we go from the happiest man who has the most ahead of him, and they're this close. I mean, he filed something at the Supreme Court a while back that changed everything. Remember that? Remember when they changed everything? No, I don't remember it either. But he said he did. But he couldn't be happier. However, Greg Kelly, though, I mean, if you're going to talk about the misery index, This is, and I have to take this one personally because the name of this one is Greg Kelly. When a liberal starts to lose an argument, Tish power tripping on Trump. I'm going to go out on a limb, kids, and considering the fact that Letitia James is black, say that this choice of lower third, the language on this, meant to be racial. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is meant to be somehow derogatory towards how Greg Kelly perceives black people to speak. Tish power tripping on Trump with an apostrophe. Yeah. He's gross. He's an asshole. He's gross. And by the way, this won't. Believe me, Letitia James is not concerned about any of this, nor should she be. But this is when a liberal starts to lose an argument. We're going to find out what happens. You know what happens when I'm excited, don't you? Because if I ever lose an argument, it hasn't happened yet. But if I ever lose an argument, I hope I know I can see the signs. I can see it coming on, right?
We love them, right? And
well, hold on. Who? The Trumps?
the Trumps.
We love them, right? Don't we? Please? All right.
Love them, right?
No.
And they've been on the international stage for decades.
I mean, they've been international laughing stocks for decades. I mean, one of the big things about like Russians and especially, I suppose, Chinese billionaires and Saudis certainly is that they know what a phony he is. They don't care about our laws, so they'll spy on Deutsche Bank without batting an eye. I mean, they're the ones who gave, the Russians gave the money to Deutsche Bank to give to him, allegedly. So they know what a broke son of a bitch he is. So, international stage, sure.
Did you notice all those decades? Everything was fine.
No, it wasn't. It started off with Trump and his dad not renting to black people. He has multiple sexual assault accusations for years. He used to pal around and party with Jeffrey Epstein. He was fucking gross. He said a myriad of dipshit things. But as long as he did it as kind of a New York gadfly with bad hair, nobody gave a shit. It wasn't fine. None of our laws were subject to his whims. So nobody gave a shit. He was. It's like, I'm not concerned about Gary Busey either. But if he gets on the SCOTUS, I'm going to have an issue.
Accused of a crime. Politics changed all of that. Now they're
well, all right.
Investigation left and right. It is harassment, clearly. And
No, it isn't. It's harassment of the average American citizen that there seemed to be two-tier justice he benefited from for decades, doing all this crazy shit and never getting busted for it because they were afraid to dig too deep into New York real estate.
The state attorney general in New York, her name is Letitia James. Now, we think...
Look at this. Look at the Chiron. Look at the lower third. Fucking hell, this dude. Just what a dick. Oh, God.
Graduated from law school. With her, it's often hard to tell if she's a real lawyer or not. So,
no, it isn't. She's the attorney general. It's hard to tell sometimes if you were actually the son of a police officer, though.
She has successfully convinced a judge that the Trumps will have to testify before her.
I didn't realize she was testifying. I'm kidding. Yeah. And is there a reason why they shouldn't have to testify around their tiny little company's finances?
Put out a tweet just a short time ago, and it says this: today, a court ruled in our favor that Donald Trump must appear before my office as part of our investigation into his financial dealings.
Yeah, I don't. Today is capitalized. Donald Trump is capitalized. The rest of it's lowercase. I don't see the bang your fist on the desk emoji, but I'll trust that it was there.
Goes on to say, no one will be permitted to stand in the way of the pursuit of justice, no matter how powerful they are.
And that's not fair. She shouldn't have written that. How powerful they were. It should say were, because they sure as shit aren't now.
Sounds so strong, right? Superwoman.
Well, no, just a lot of AGs and district attorneys and even police officers. Ask your dad, who's a police commissioner, or was. If he's still alive, I don't know. If he hasn't, my condolences. But ask him if they've ever used language like that about criminals.
This is all nonsense. This is not how lawyers speak. This is
Sure it is.
how crazy politicians with an agenda speak. By the way,
Wait, no one will be permitted to stand in the way of the pursuit of justice, no matter how powerful they are? What? Attorney generals don't say shit like that? Are you kidding me? Of course they say stuff like this.
Schiff, all those guys, if there was something, I mean really something to get on Trump, they would have gotten it.
Well, Barr didn't let... Schiff doesn't have the ability to carry out the law. That is, again, something for the courts. But in terms of Robert Mueller, he was not allowed to look at Trump's finances. That was the no-go zone. And since that was primarily the motive reason, he didn't feel like, even if he was allowed to bring an indictment, he had enough information to prove, motive, means, and wherewithal.
Now, Letitia James, there's nothing there. But I don't think this is fair.
I don't think this is fair, okay? I was trying to put my tongue in my cheek, and I missed.
And
who cares if I have a poker tell where I lick the side of my mouth when I know I'm talking total shit? I also have another one where I look down and wag it like that, and then there's when I do that. Also a tell. It's like all poker tells.
after you hear the way she speaks, before she even became an attorney general, the way she talked about the Trumps, this woman should not have power.
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Get off your ass and vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally.
Running for attorney general because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake.
We need to focus on Donald Trump and his abuses. We need to follow his money.
Yeah, it sounds really street. I've never heard complete sentences like this from a AG running for office. Can someone please in Greg Kelly's office accidentally throw in like Senator Kennedy talking like Foghorn Leghorn up against her speaking? Well, I don't know if that dog's got a limp that's just going to make him walk in circles till he pisses yeller.
We need to find out where he's laundered money. All of those transactions have happened here in New York City.
Right.
Incredibly prejudicial, wild, wrong.
Incredibly prejudicial, wild, wrong, true, but still.
Did you hear she called President Trump illegitimate while he was president? If you or I tried that on social media, if it said something about that of Biden, they'd warn us. They'd kick us off of.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm against using that kind of language about a sitting president, but there was nobody making the case. I think she's making the case about him being illegitimate in that here he is, this criminal who was allowed to go through this whole election cycle and never answer for the crimes he'd committed in New York City. That's rather than the election was fraudulent.
Yeah, they really would. But if you're a Democrat, you get elected when you say that kind of stuff. She's silly. I don't think we have to really worry about much.
What in the world? Watch what you say. Is this a Netflix horror film I haven't seen yet? It's a cross between Bird Box and I don't know.
This, however, is far more serious. The totalitarian atmosphere that is America, where
totalitarian atmosphere. The dude's got lawyers. He can fight this in court. If it was totalitarian, they just snatch him up. Ask all the dudes that Putin bags and drags out of the room.
Americans.
No one is, look at this. No one is safe from the cancel culture war. That's what it is. They're not going after his financial crimes where he lied to banks and the IRS and did it brazenly for decades. They're not going after that finally. No, he's being canceled because it's Orange Man bad.
Have to watch what we say.
Yes, you do have to watch what you say, especially if you tell your bank that your house is worth $10 million so you can get a loan for $5, and you tell the IRS your house is worth $10,000. That would be a version of watching what you say that would be crucial and kind of important in this particular case. Wouldn't you think?
I don't like that message.
You don't like watch what you say? Of course. Well, that's why you're on Newsmax, where no one gives a shit what you say.
Always had to kind of consider who might hear something and who.
Oh. Are we getting into Bill O'Reilly dropping epithets in a restaurant? Hey, MFer, can I have some iced tea stuff? Or are we talking racial epithets? Fucking hell. Listen to this. I don't know. Look, the only time I would ever watch what I say in a public setting where I'd lean hard is if I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, because I think we should all go. And we're all making a plan at the table to leave while someone's performing or something like that, and we don't want to make a big deal out of it. You get the feeling that Greg Kelly's had somebody tap him on the shoulder and go, dude, one of them's right over there. Don't use that word right now.
That message. We've always had to kind of consider who might hear something and who might be offended. That happened long before cancel culture, long before smartphones. You may remember these guys, old TV dudes and one politician. They said wildly offensive things. Tex Antoine said something horrible about sexual assault on TV. I think he was a weatherman. He couldn't come back the next day. Jimmy the Greek said something pretty nasty about monkeys and people. It was awful.
Fucking hell. You get the feeling Greg just wants to say these things?
And Governor Allen, remember the macaca moment? Really bad. And all before cell phones. So the community has always had standards.
Yeah, the community has always had standards, I think.
Really bad. And
yes.
All before cell phones. So the community
of, and we are all part of this community together. We share this community. We all have different roles to play in the community. For example, I'm the jawbone of the ass in the community, and he's just the ass.
Always had standards, but now the community is crazy. I mean, really crazy. We've seen hints of this before. It's actually been in the works for.
Wait, and by the way, the fuck does this have to do with him being finally busted? Trump being busted for lying to banks and to the IRS. And this is a hard jerk of the steering wheel.
Decades. Shortly after 9/11, Ari Fleischer, he was the press secretary for George W. Bush. He tried it. It was pushed back, but he tried something that was pretty scary, actually.
The reminders to all Americans that they need to watch what they say, watch what they do, and this is not a time for remarks like that. There never is.
All Americans to watch what they say, watch what they do. Who the heck is this guy? What?
Yeah, he was a Republican spokesperson. And I don't know what that piece was referencing, dum-dum, but perhaps it was about making jokes about bombs while you're going through TSA, going through the airport. Play the question beforehand. What do you mean, what's he doing? It's your clip, dickhead.
Bill Maher made some dumb joke, and everybody was angry at Bill Maher. But
I don't think, no, it wasn't a joke that got him angry with him. His point was you can describe these people as evil, but you can't describe them as cowards because what it takes to, kill yourself and crash a plane is not necessarily cowardice. Now, that I disagree. I think actually you can mentally hook yourself up to that part where you're safer in the great by and by, and that you're checking out of this whole mess. You're going to start the fire and then leave to fantasy land. That could be a form of cowardice, but that's what he got called out on. It wasn't a joke that went sideways.
In power tried to take it out on America, exploit moments like that. Americans have to watch what they do. Americans have to watch what.
Wait a minute. Who?
Angry at Bill Maher. But people in power try to take it out on America, exploit moments like that. Americans have to watch what they do.
Yes, because you don't walk through there and go, well, I sure as hell haven't got any goddamn bombs in there, Allahu Akbar, see you later, like that kind of bullshit. Yeah, that would get you in trouble. More or less, that's what they were talking about and concerned about. And I get, again, this is Republican on Republican crime, so I don't even feel like I have to interrupt.
Americans have to watch what they say. Now, back then, they were trying to exploit September 11th.
Oh, were they? Why were they trying to exploit it 15 days later? Sorry, yeah.
2001. Now, it didn't work, but the seeds were there.
What do you mean it didn't work? What the fuck do you think the Patriot Act was? Of course they took advantage of it.
And now, far more successfully, they're exploiting events like January 6th.
Okay, so I thought we were the bad guys for comparing the two. Is that where Greg's going now?
The killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. And even that crazy swimmer from Pennsylvania who used to be a boy. All right?
These are the things. This is a list of things that makes Greg Kelly bolt upright in bed covered in sweat every day.
These are the kinds of things they're trying to control our speech, the way we think, who gets elected, and who gets canceled. You could be famous like these guys. Cancel culture is real. You offend the left. Watch out. Famous, a lot to lose. You could lose it. And even if you're not famous, with not much to lose.
I'm sorry. I only know the chick from The Mandalorian. Sorry.
You can lose that too. This whole thing about the Karens, it's really, really ugly. However, if you say something...
yeah, it's ugly to us. But Greg, if he could squeeze them all into one pretty woman, he'd do it.
That the left likes, that the left secretly or even overtly supports, the internet will make room and plus and like and get it out there and juice the algorithms so you become a star.
Oh, wow. It's my day. Thanks, Greg. Gosh, all I have to do is do what I'm told and parrot things I don't actually believe, and I'll be a star. I'll be juiced in the algorithm. Which sounds painful.
Just as long as you make it as woke and crazy as possible.
All right, woke and crazy. That's what we're going for the rest of the thing. Okay, so I should go woke and crazy as possible. Okay, woke as possible. Okay, Karen is a racial and misogynistic stereotype against women. And you putting it on the screen in red means that you fear menstruation, and therefore you're part of the patriarchy. And how am I doing?
Like this.
The goal of the transition closet is for our students to be able to wear the clothes that their parents...
Okay, gender fluidity is not a subject for school, is the thing. And this is, by the way, from... You can't see it. I have to move my little graphic up here. It says, @TeacherExposed is the website. So these people, like, capture TikTok videos and stuff like that they think kids shouldn't see. What the fuck does this have to do with Letitia James making Trump testify under oath? Oops, hold on. I was going to roll.
Approve of, come to school, and then swap out into the clothes that fit who they truly are. And I use the idea that this is like Superman changing in a phone booth. But that idea actually goes a lot further than that, because Superman isn't Clark Kent. Clark Kent is actually the disguise. And when Clark Kent goes into the phone booth, he transforms into Superman.
Well, no, I mean, I would argue that he's both, and that's part of the dichotomy of his life, and that's his relationship with Lois is predicated on his being Clark, and his relationship with the rest of the world is predicated on him being Superman, and there's a tug and pull between normalcy. That's why in the second movie, he loses... I'm sorry.
Who's really just who he truly is, Kal-El. And so this...
No, that's his parents. That's the name his parents gave him. His adoptive parents raised him, though. He never even knew his real parents except in a hologram. Kind of, never mind.
Gives our trans students the opportunity to be the superheroes that we know they are.
Now, I think this weirdo should be able to say whatever the hell he wants into whatever camera he wants.
Except,
here's what should not happen. They're pushing this stuff on our children.
Well, then you don't want him to be able to say it into every camera he wants. Greg, I'm beginning to think your heart's not in this argument.
That little superhero closet, whatever he called it, that exists. That's a thing. So many academics support this stuff. What is happening? Take a look at this.
They are not too young to lead this work, and they are not as attached to things as us adults are. Like, you talk to kids about gender fluidity, and they're ready. Talk to them about anti-racism, they're ready. And the more that we can empower them and educate them and make them comfortable with conversations that are hard for adults.
This sounds terrible so far. Raise an entire generation of children who can discuss any topic without anxiety or fear. What kind of world are they trying to create?
The more we're all going to come along.
They're talking about indoctrination.
No, they're not. They're not saying, like, they're ready to be gender fluid if you talk to them about it. They're ready to be anti-racist or to define themselves as racist or not racist. Where they're ready for the conversation the way that... Oh, never mind. Look who I'm talking to, Mr.
Anti-racism, watch out for that. It's different from not being racist.
Okay, tell us the difference, Greg. Tell us, as someone who's not racist, Greg, school us all, please.
Nobody wants to be a racist. We don't like racism. But anti-racist is a whole weird ideology that, quite frankly, tries to make white people second-class citizens.
Oh, my God. By the way, don't let what he's saying upset you, anybody like who's out there is like, oh, my God, this is hateful, horrible. Please. Never give this dipshit that kind of power. This is the ramblings inside this dipshit skull. Honestly. Jesus Christ. You get the feeling that, like, literally this is the only time during his day that Greg Kelly speaks out loud because he has no friends and no one will hang around him. Do you get that? Do you get that? You get that feeling?
And I don't know anybody, black or white, in my real life who wants to sign up for that stuff.
Yes, I believe you don't know anybody in your real life, black or white. Period. I honestly think you're a friendless lump. We've seen you interact with people when they come up. When Sean Spicer sat in your chair in your office that no one's supposed to sit in. Your other chair in your office. You have two chairs, and they're both for you, Greg. You miserable bastard.
Online, you see it all the time. Woo! You got to watch what you say. And you know what? I'm just not going to live my life that way.
Yeah, well, it must be easy when nobody gives a shit what you say, Greg. Literally every place this asshole goes. Counter at a deli, in a restaurant. No one wants his opinions. You can just tell. Not even enough to get upset by them.
And a lot of you aren't going to do it either.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, it's easy to be a tough guy with your phone. These Americans are great. All across the country, at the school boards, especially Loudoun County. I mean, and, well, all over the country.
You mean the women who spoke on behalf of their children? It's easy to be a tough guy behind a desk, Greg.
Really. They're just amazing.
In front of a fake skyline. Everybody's tough when they've got the whole city behind them. Well, not the whole city, a picture with lights behind it. Oh, God.
People, I'm in awe of them. They are our patriots. These are heroes. And do you remember that dad, this was in Loudoun County, who was there to stick up for his daughter who wanted to go to the bathroom alone and was assaulted by a trans person? It was just ugly. This image, it stayed with me. I think someday this will be iconic. This will be up there with Rosa Parks.
Oh, dear God. If it's iconic, then don't just use a filter on it that makes him look like a pug. 1,000 people in the chat. Right on. Welcome, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Boy, the fun we have. Good God. Also, please don't let Greg Kelly upset you. Don't give him that kind of power.
Be in a museum.
Yes, it'll be in a museum. Your Snapchat filter of it will be in a museum.
It should be. Because
because what?
Friend Tatiana Ibrahim say? She's still correct about this country.
You work for me. I don't work
okay.
for you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison.
Oh, okay. Perhaps you would you might want to rework some of those morals that you teach your children if they're ending up in prison. Just saying.
Police officer, it's our fault? No, it's your fault.
I see. So you teach them right, but if they end up in jail, it's your fault. It's the public school system's fault that her rugrats grow up to be meth dealers. Okay. So in her mind, it's all parental upside, and at school, all they do is teach them how to be criminals. Yeah, that's very patriotic.
You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am.
I love it. This is
still America, ma'am.
America, ma'am.
Just for the record, not a fan of communism or socialism, but the American system can absorb these things and have them be part of the conversation in a way that they can't have our system part of the conversation in purest versions of those. It's part of what makes America amazing, that we can converse and try to pick good ideas where they are and forget the rest from a lot of different thought forms. I'm kidding. We live in Greg Kelly's theocracy.
You're damn right. And you know what? It's also still Canada. We're going to hear from two speakers. The first,
it's still, because no.
A conservative member of the parliament up there. She has an eccentric haircut, but she is a conservative.
Yeah, don't let her haircut throw you. Normally, you would judge her immediately. But don't do it today, because she's going to say stuff you like. And then you're going to feel all weird inside.
Think you'll like her.
Positive, optimistic, hopeful vision for public life isn't a naive dream. It could be a powerful force for change. If Canadians are to trust their government needs to trust Canadians. Those are the words of the Prime Minister in 2015. These people, very often misogynistic, racist, women haters, science deniers, the fringe. Same Prime Minister 6 years later as he fans the flames of an unjustified national emergency. So, Mr. Speaker, when did the Prime Minister lose his way? When did it happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I thought about it a lot. So until someone actively involves themselves in criminal activity, the shutting down of the entire economy, and or the shipping of illegal guns across the border, or the blockading of all trade because they don't feel like they should be subject to the same rules as the rest of society. I don't know why he treated them nicely until they did that. It's weird how your opinion can change about a group of people based on their behavior.
You're right, Honorable Prime Minister.
Fabulous, right? Well, Justin Trudeau was standing right there. Watch.
Conservative Party members can stand with people who wave swastikas. They can stand with people who wave the Confederate flag. We will choose to stand with Canadians who deserve to be able to get to their jobs, who be able to get their lives back. These illegal protests need to stop, and they will, Mr. Speaker.
Liberals accusing their opponents of being Nazis.
No, the people are, there are truckers that are waving those things. And if you're just standing with them for that particular reason, you're like, you're calling them names. No, they actually have those things. Stupid.
They go to that all the time, don't they? But they...
Oh, I see. Oh, by the way, this must be the when liberals start losing an argument. It's terrible that he would accuse me of that. It's exactly what a Nazi would do. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry.
Messing with the wrong woman.
I am a strong Jewish woman and a member of this House and a descendant of Holocaust survivors, and I have never it's never been singled out, and I have never been made to feel less, except for today when the Prime Minister accused me of standing with swastikas. I think he owes me an apology. I'd like an apology, and I think he owes an apology to all members of this House.
The moment
did he give it?
Liberals start losing an argument, they call racism.
No. When we see racism, we call racism. You don't get to just not say, well, I'm not racist. Because why? Because you called me one, and I don't like you. I see.
Say their opponent.
And swastikas, that was, I mean, it's an interesting pronunciation.
Nazis. They do it all the time.
Yeah, I know. I sometimes I will trip, and if I hit my shin on a table, I'll just yell, Nazis! Who's the Nazi that moved the table? All right. You know, sometimes if one of the cats throws up, all right, I was like, what Nazi hairball is this? It's really my only reaction.
She went through that. Happens in America.
Does it? When? Oh, right, when I do it. Sorry, I was mistaken. Anyways, sorry, Nazi, you were saying? I'm, by the way, joking in case anyone's clutching their pearls.
Happens, as you know,
Hi,
all
Connie.
the time. But this is just like that, actually. Governor Murphy of New Jersey. A couple of months ago, he was in a very close race for re-election, even though the media didn't cover it that way.
Everyone's sick of the white supremacy talk. Boy, I know I am. Man, oh, Shevitz. Wait a minute. Who are we blaming? Hillary or the... Yes, thanks, Mark. Yes, satire. I don't have my satire thing up. Oh, wait, maybe I do. Did I? Hold on. Is there a... Nope. Clearly going to have to make one. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll do it like this. Add. There you go. And then, let's see. Make it really gigantic. And then put it over the screen. And then go, Greg Kelly's a Nazi. And I hate his Nazi face. And I do not see why he can't... Does that work? Is that anybody... Okay.
If he was going to win by 20 points, he barely won. Barely.
He did win, though.
And
normally the party out of power wins both of those seats, and they didn't.
He knew that he could lose the race, so he was desperate. He was scared. And yeah, he said, those who oppose him are bigots.
We have to keep moving forward. We cannot go backward, and we cannot afford an extreme leader. There's so much on the ballot. There's so much at stake. Do we stand with our sacred democracy, or do we stand with Confederate flags and white supremacists and a pack of lies? Do we stand? Do we continue? Do we continue to make the tough?
Boo! Look, one guy brings the Confederate flag into the Capitol and walks around waving it for a half hour or so while the president, at the time, spanks it watching TV going, look what people are doing for me. And he's got to bring it up. I mean...
Do we continue to make the tough calls based on science and data to save as many lives as we can? Or do we put lives at risk?
Boo vaccines as well. Nazi vaccines. By the way, they're upset that he's inferring that they're Nazis, and And then I guarantee the minute he brought up the vaccine, somebody in that audience went, "God, vaccine Nazi."
Play politics. Do we stand up for women's reproductive freedoms?
So the crowd went crazy, understandably so, offended, but that's what they do.
Yes, they're very offensive. Yeah, it's very offensive to half the audience that's there for the other dude who are against women's rights to choose because it should be a moral argument, which is what the Bible says as well. Oh, God.
The moment they start losing, you're a racist, you're a Nazi. It's absolutely disgusting.
I don't know that he said it was a Nazi, and well, we'll let that one slide, that the inference was there about who we're standing with, not that the crowd that was there yelling boo are a bunch of Nazis.
It shows you really their ideas. No, if the ideas were solid, sound.
Yes, are like democracy and anti-fascist behavior. Those sound ideas of a woman having bodily autonomy, and decisions about having children shouldn't be in the hands of a rapist. Greg.
They could defend them. Often they can't. Often they can.
Yes, they can't make us Nazis. And by the way, there's his tell again. Look at... maybe that's unfair. Maybe he doesn't have the worst poker tell in the world that makes him lick his lips really grotesquely like Rudy Giuliani. Maybe he just had a popsicle right before work.
Back to our friends in Canada. That convoy has brought out so much.
Yes, so much bullshit.
People are revealing their true colors once again from the
red and white maple.
Washington Post. They actually published this. The Washington Post said, what we're seeing, what the Ottawa trucker convoy is bringing on is, well, the notion of freedom.
The Ottawa trucker convoy is rooted in Canada's settler colonial history by Taylor Dysart, February 11th. Editorial, I'm guessing. Okay. The notion of freedom has historically remained intertwined with whiteness. The belief that one's entitlement to freedom is a key component of white supremacy.
Freedom was historically and remains intertwined with whiteness. The belief that one's entitlement to freedom is a key component of white supremacy.
Oh, my God. Can you believe that the United States has a free press and that the Washington Post will post opinion pieces, some of which disagree with what Greg Kelly wants? What kind of Nazi regime are we in when anybody with an alternative view of things, especially a minority view, can have something printed in the newspaper?
No, one's entitlement to freedom is a key component to being a human being, to being God's children of God.
God's children of God, yeah.
We agree, white supremacy, they're corrupting. They're trying to corrupt everything that was good, that is good.
Yeah, white supremacy used to be good. Now they're going to ruin it. They ruined my... I'm kidding.
That brings me to the military, by the way.
Of course it does, because we started off... Now freedom is racist. Look at this. When did this start? The whole fucking story was supposed to be about Trump having to testify, and Letitia James is making him. Fucking hell.
Crisis. Big time. We have a huge problem with
America taking its eye off the ball, is what this says. Oh, we're focused on trying to keep Ukraine from getting taken by Russia or the border. What do you think it is? China?
Woke military. You know, their priority right now is not war fighting. It's diversity, equity, inclusion.
Hey, asshole. First of all, we're not in a war. And our soldiers getting along together because they have to fight next to each other in the most diverse country on the planet is meaningful, takes effort. Especially when guys like you show up in the ranks and can't say the word, and then it's a little hard to have unit cohesion. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, sounds terrible. Trans rights, awful, I can see. It almost looks as if all these things are exemplary of the extreme freedoms we have in the United States never mind.
All this stuff. I would have to think long and hard. You know, I served in the military for 9 years, active duty, and 12 in the reserves after that.
Doing what?
Somebody asked me, should I go into the military? Number one, I never tried to talk anybody into the military, but certainly wouldn't talk anybody out of it.
Well, it was your dad's idea, like this or jail.
It was fantastic at the time in the 1990s. I enjoyed it. I learned so much and got to serve my country. Right now, could I tell somebody, recommend that somebody join the military of this?
Well, no, because you don't know anybody that actually cares about the country, Greg. The circles you run in are people who want this place to collapse. Also, who are you talking to? 17-year-olds? If you tried to talk to a 17-year-old, a cop would be called.
At this time, with this president, Joe Biden, falling asleep, being incredibly weak at one press conference and trying to...
By the way, that's him, like the other one where he's sitting there with his eyes closed or whatever. A, I don't fault him. But B, this is when Peter Ducey, was asking a question and he was like, this motherfucker.
Show he's tough by ordering thousands of troops around Europe. I wouldn't be signing up for that. And if you have a loved one, I don't know if they should be either. Let's stay tuned.
Jesus Christ. There you go. Yeah, let the country collapse. That's adorable. Yeah. That, by the way, that's, in case you're wondering what that qualifies as, that's good old America first. That's what that is. All right. This is, I don't know if this is an ad campaign. I don't know if this, obviously, this is a man, Dinesh D'Souza, whose dream is about to come true. Not only is he doing a video without his wife present, but he's got a story to tell you guys. The moment we've been waiting for, Truth Social is arriving. That's right. The Donald Trump social media company is coming your way, and it's going to be spectacular. And he wrote a little song about it, and he wants to sing it right now.
Trump's new social media platform, Truth Social.
I'm sorry, what's it called?
Trump's new social media platform, Truth Social.
Truth what?
Trump's new social media platform, Truth Social.
Truth Social. That was my mistake. I always thought it was ironically named Truth Social. Nope, Truth Social. Toot Social. It's social. That's what it is.
Well, I had read it was supposed to be coming the end of March. There was an interview with Devin Nunes.
Yes, and he's always a reliable source.
And who is the CEO of the Truth Social.
All right. We've moved past this being a mistake.
I got the impression.
Hold on.
And who is the CEO of the Truth Social.
Yes, he's CEO of Truth Social.
And I got the impression that, well, this is going to be sometime later in the spring. But I now realize it's going to be sooner.
Oh, you now realize. It's very exciting. He's realized that they're saying it might be not, all right.
Much sooner, in fact.
Much sooner. Thank God. Because I've been holding back all these things I want to say, stuff I can't say on other people, but that only for Greg Kelly's ears.
I was contacted by Nunes by text.
Really? By in person? Did he send you a truth?
Going to be sooner.
Yeah. Is that? By the way, on Truth Social, do you toot people instead of tweet?
Much sooner. In fact, I was contacted.
Truth Social. Yeah.
By Nunes by text, and he's like, "Hey, let me loop you in with our team over here," and I
want a free account.
Oh, inside of the Truth Social.
Son of a bitch. Devin Nunes contacted him and said, Dinesh, can you help us promote? And he has mispronounced the title of the actual company multiple times.
The testing. And the beta testing is a kind of dry run. It's a rehearsal.
Yeah, that's what it is. Explain. I mean, it's technical. We don't get it. But thank God we have a technical genius like the new beta tester of Truth Social.
Being able to start checking out the features on the platform, looking for any kind of bugs or things that don't seem to work very well, create a feed.
Yeah, you don't want bugs that don't work well. You want bugs that suck on Toot Social.
Loop where we let them know. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a really fun platform.
Yeah, it's going to be great. P.S. Right as he said that, this came up on screen below. Follow me on Rumble.
Beautifully designed. It's very
yeah, beautifully designed to look exactly like Twitter.
Simple.
It's simple. All you do is steal Twitter.
What I mean by that is that if you're somebody now who uses Instagram or you use Twitter,
you'll go, hey, this doesn't look like Instagram. It looks exactly like Twitter.
It's not wrong to look at Truth Social as a kind of hybrid.
Yeah, it's like Toot and Truth put together. Truth Social. It's like a fusion of Twitter and Instagram without all the good parts and a lot of bugs. It's like MySpace with no music.
Between Instagram and Twitter. Now, we know there would be a Twitter component. Trump, of course, loved Twitter.
Yeah, so of course he's going to steal it.
And one could safely predict that he would want something that will allow him to get back into his element.
Yes, he wants pretend Twitter. That's what they made him. Because the man is high on his own farts. So they built him a fake Twitter. Here, Grandpa, this looks just like your bunker in Verdun. It does. I'm in the room. I'm in battle again. I'm down here fighting and farting and pushing and pulling.
You may almost...
Yes, you are. You're back on the battlefield, Grandpa. I'm back on the battlefield. What did you guys do? Well, we took a bunch of pictures at the museum he likes to go to, and we just put them all over the room. We just stapled them to the walls. I'm in the trenches. I'm back in the trenches. I'm trenching it. I've got trench foot.
Let Trump be Trump again.
Yes, but in a fake, smaller cul-de-sac of the social media.
And I think he's going to be. In fact, he did a sort of a test comment, which was then disseminated on social media.
Yeah, on real social media. He did his own little, he tooted on Truth, and then they showed it on places where people really gather.
Goes, get ready, your favorite president will see you soon. And
I'm sorry, you didn't put it on screen, so could you read that to me again, Dinesh? What did he say?
And I think he's going to be. In fact, he did a sort of a test comment, which was then disseminated on social media. It just goes, get ready, your favorite president will see you soon.
Get ready, your favorite president will see you soon. How'd he spell your favorite? Did he spell it like Yul Brynner's name? Get ready, your favorite president will see you soon. It's great. And so what you're telling me is that Truth Social won't have an edit button either. It's exactly like Twitter. You can't fix your typos, so people have to read it and go, you'll what? You'll what now?
Is, I'm back.
Oh, I see. So he not only ripped off Twitter, but he's trying to poorly rip off Schwarzenegger. Great. Super good.
Here's a guy who's been off of social media now for, well, over a year.
And he still knows how to use it, man. It's just like riding a bike. You get on it, you with a blindfold on, you sit down with no seat on the post, and you pedal into a pond. It's just like it's the
And so I've kind of got myself now set up on Truth Social.
On where you got yourself set up on where?
And so I've kind of got myself now set up on Truth Social.
On Truth Social. You do realize that if he had an accent, of any merit, I wouldn't be so annoyed by this. But he can pronounce every other fucking word except the name of the site, which is, and maybe, I think I know what it is. I think Dinesh D'Souza can't pronounce that word in the same way that the Fonz can't say I'm sorry. Or Kevin Kline in A Fish Called Wanda. I'm sorry. I'm very, 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 fuck you.
I did my first post, and
how was it? Did it feel okay? It looked like Twitter, only lavender.
As I say, this is a simple, beautiful,
in deference to Trump,
easy to use, and I predict it's going to be huge.
Wait, it's both simple and easy to use. Sorry, it's both simple and easy to use. All right. Someone put us later.
Platform. I also understand that the launch of Truth Social is coming.
I'm gonna freak the fuck out. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. If he says truth at the end, like one time after saying it wrong the entire time, I might flip out more. All right.
Imminently. In other words, it's an accelerated launch.
He can pronounce eminently. Sure. Eminently is fine. Truth is a problem. And again, I understand that. Like, Trump literally picked the worst word for his followers to use. I'm surprised they don't, like, choke trying to say it. I'm on a truth. Oh, God damn it. Whew. Oh, God.
They're going to beat their own deadlines. They're going to put it out there. It's going to be up and running. And here's the good thing.
Not all of that is terrible. Here's the good thing.
In conjunction with Rumble, which is to say that Truth Social is not going to...
Thank you, Aaron.
Dependent on the left and on the tech moguls who would have then the power to pull it down. They'd have the power over it that Trump doesn't want them to have, rightly so.
Yeah.
And so he recognizes this is what happens when you get burned, is you realize...
By the way, hey, anybody want to go back like a year and change, like a year and a half ago at least, because we're almost up to our 2-year anniversary, when I was saying basically when Trump starts to do this, he's going to sign a deal with Rumble. That's it. He's just gonna hitch his car. It's a branding exercise. Son of a bitch can't build anything. He's not gonna build anything. He's gonna set up a paper entity with his name on it and then bounce his brand over and use software he got from somebody else. They're stealing the system behind Twitter effectively as far as the UI. And they're going to use Rumble servers, and then there's going to be some like content and subscriber sharing with Rumble. Remember when I called it? I fucking called it. Like this, he's never going to make anything of his own. Dude is a leech, not an inventor.
I now have to develop in a way that makes me secure and makes me invulnerable to the of attack that, for example, Parler experienced when it...
Oh dear. When it used the demo version of security software to protect its users' private information.
Took a coordinated strike.
Oh, it was a coordinated strike. Yes. Yeah. By a 17-year-old who knows how to exploit a hole in a WordPress document.
From Amazon and from Apple and so on.
Yeah, why? I mean, why not just buy you're a billionaire? Buy your own server farm. Mike Lindell's not a billionaire, and that's what he did. Oh, right, Trump's not really a billionaire.
Social is going to be using, as I understand it, some Rumble equipment, perhaps some Rumble servers.
You think?
And the Truth Social that we're going to see shortly is not the fully developed Truth Social.
No, this is not the complete Truth Social. This is just the oot of Truth Social. I'm going to snap. I'm going to snap. Just get ready.
Because they have all kinds of ambitious ideas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They want a whole part that looks like Instagram, too. They also want a part that looks like Facebook. They're also building a piece that looks like Snapchat. They're in the works of making their own, I don't know, what would you call it? Toctic version of Truth Social. They've got a great idea.
For things that can be added later.
Yeah. Shit they can rip off.
Streaming services and so on. And so the idea that Debbie and I...
They're buying locals or copying. By the way, locals is sort of the subscriber area where a lot of right-wingers have gone to when they get bounced off of YouTube to make money and build communities. That like Dave Rubin, I think, was part of the investors in that. And guaranteed, mark the date. We are about half a year, 8 months at best, away from if this gets off the ground. Once it gets from whenever the day they actually launch this piece of shit, them stealing a version of locals, basically taking the idea of locals and absorbing it.
Transmitted to Trump when we met him in November of what now? Was it 20? November of 19?
Oh, Debbie's sitting right there. She must be tooting right now. So she's tooting out the broadcast.
Is we were saying, hey, start a network and a network.
Oh, it was your idea. Great. So you're taking credit for Trump stealing someone else's technology. Great.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a TV network, but it has to have a TV component.
Yeah, it definitely has to have visual aspects of it because I don't know how much longer we could stay on YouTube, right?
And it looks like Truth Social is going to be...
Hold it together. Hold it together. Don't. God damn it. Man, if I had a real show right now, we'd have a counter going by the number of times he said "troot." We'd have a live troot counter. I'm gonna.
Bigger than just a social media platform with all kinds of capabilities down the road. So this is...
Yeah, spyware, their own phones, burners, file sharing, the kind of stuff that can be exploited by people from ISIS and child pornographers. Yeah, that's the dream big, Dinesh.
Very exciting. I mean, we've been...
Yes, Trugle, their own search engine.
For this for over a year. Fortunately, we do.
Just don't ask me. Just Trugle it.
Some alternative platforms, and I like them all. I'm on them all.
And these platforms are medications or...
Huge fan of Getter.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Regularly on Parler. I post on Gab.
Yeah, and what Trump world needs right now is another piece of scattered ass where the same 100,000 dumbasses can post in 4 places so they can pretend there's 400,000 of them.
I have over a couple of 100,000 now on Telegram.
Great. And all of those are real.
And of course, Rumble. I post,
of course,
videos on Rumble.
Yeah.
Now Truth Social. So I think...
Yeah, now Truth Social. By the way, I'm gonna have to buy like Truth Social now, aren't I? And like have that go to infotainmentwars.com, bounce over like I use that one, or Grumble. Should I get Grumble.com?
What we're showing here is that the left, while they were able to cut us off from our own audience, and one can't say that their censorship policies have been effective in doing that. That was their goal, and it has achieved its goal in restricting people like me and others.
By the way, this video is from YouTube and is directly from his Rumble account and also doubles on his TikTok. And he puts this out on his Instagram in pieces. Because he's been denied freedom.
Places like...
You can't handle the truth. Oh, I love you guys. Chat room, I love you. And I want to have your babies. You're fantastic.
So we're banned, we're shadow banned, our influence is shortened. We have
sometimes it's cold out there in social media.
These strikes against us that we have to try to get cleared. And so it's...
Yes, I've been there, and I didn't whine about it.
We're all looking to move to greener pastures where we aren't under this kind of cloud.
Right. You need to find a place where there's a lot more manure. Hence...
And it's not that I'm going to quit these platforms. Why quit them?
Right. That's where the real audience is.
But the point is, we're going to set up and be very active
on a fifth site that the same assholes will go to.
These alternative platforms. And I think the biggest one of them all will be Truth Social.
Yeah, that's
Trump's new.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. I can't wait. I'll have an account on there. You bet your ass. I'm surprised they haven't asked me to beta test it. Just to see if the anti-liberal filters work on it. And what the fuck did we just watch? Almost 5 minutes of him going, Truth Social's coming. It's going to be great. And they showed it, and I tried it, and I'm going to do it, and you should do it, and I'll do it. I just did it, and I'll do it again. I love to do it. So stupid. There was Chip. Chip figured it out. There is no point. There will be a Truth Fairy, absolutely. Thank you, Carlton and Carlton. All right. Speaking of Truth, speaking of Booger Sugar, this one's got 856 rumbles and a big golden Don Jr. up in the corner. And this is, what? The Washington Post just said something terribly racist about Justice Thomas. Oh, did they? Well, I got to see this. Dear God. And I'm sure this is something he came up with on his own. He was reading the Washington Post. He noticed they said it. He's like, I got to dive in there and say something. I just got to post a video about this because I have so much to say in this moment.
What will you design today?
I'll
start designing for free at canva.com.
I like Canva.
Well, folks, nothing to see here. Nothing.
Hold on, folks. Here, look, we're going to sing a duet. Hold on. Well, folks, honestly, is he shitting? Is he shitting right out of the gate? How is this the freeze frame I ended on? Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to take a look at this feller. Hang on a second. Hey, you need somebody that speaks booger sugar, buddy. I got you all figured out there, son. Tell them what time it is, Donnie. Tell them what's up. What'd they do?
New, just the left being racist. Rules
Terrible.
For thee, but not for the liberal.
Rules for thee, but not for the liberal.
Elite.
Elite, I see. Rules for thee. No. Rules for me, but not for elite.
In the Washington Post.
In the Washington Post, no less. The Post de Washington.
This is about Clarence Thomas, where they have to.
Hey, am I blocking your view of your notes? I'll move if I have to. I'm glad to. How about how about this? I'll go way up here. Oh shit! Now I'm blocking your name, son. How about bounce over here and then I'll talk to you like this? What's up, son? Now I'll be back over. It's fine. It's fine. You can see. Your notes are. I'll lean back so you can see them if you need to. Go ahead.
Up what Benny Thompson, a rep from Mississippi, was saying about Jim Clyburn and the pick and his endorsement as it relates to someone who's going to be on the Supreme Court and how that means something. And he says, Nobody that I'm aware of feels that opposing Clyburn's nomination would be a wise thing to do, he said. If you know a person that has been vetted by Jim Clyburn, you know that person won't go to the court and end up being a Clarence Thomas. That was said by Rep. Betty Thompson, okay?
Okay.
Now, the Washington Post, just in case you didn't know who Clarence Thomas was.
I know who Clarence Thomas is. He's that fella who used to work down at the Tilt-A-Whirl when the carnival would come to town. He ain't not the fella that's on the Supreme Court. This is a different Clarence Thomas, but he's a hell of a feller, man. He make you an elephant ear with one hand and hold the nuts into the tilt-a-wheel with the other.
As, quote, referring to the black justice whose rulings often resemble the political thinking of white conservatives.
They seem to be quoting someone else. They quoted it as if that might be something weird to say. It sounds like they're saying that's a bit. Nobody that I'm aware of feels that opposing Clyburn's nomination would be a whiz-a thing to do. He said, if you know that a person has been vetted by Jim Clyburn, you know that person will go to the court and end up being a Clarence Thomas, referring to the black justice whose rulings often resemble political thinking of white conservatives. Because he voted with Scalia all the time, especially when it was time for lunch. Man, they'd argue about some things, but the one thing Clarence and Scalia always get right is Thursday, they get to pick the fucking menu, man. This dude quoted this thing, which is already visible in the thing. Just in case you didn't see this part, because
White conservatives, not whose rulings represent black conservatives.
Well, that was the thing. On the court, they ain't any others. On the Supreme Court, he's it. So he rules with the white conservatives because that's all they is. They ain't. Never mind.
Not who perhaps may be in line with Hispanic conservatives.
Well, they ain't one of them on the Supreme Court. He can't vote with them on the Supreme Court because there ain't none. You guys should put one forward, though. I think that's a great idea. You know what? You know who you should talk to? You should talk to Tucker Carlson. Because every time I notice he's very excited about the idea that conservative Latinos end up on the court. He thinks it's a great idea. That's why when you bring it up, he gets that twitch in his eye. He starts going like that. You can tell he's excited when he goes like, hey, we got all these brand new Latino voters that are going to vote our way. They're going to join the Republican Party. All that. Like, he gets super excited. You ever seen him get excited? It's adorable. It's so, he's like, you can tell he feels good about the whole thing.
Female conservatives or gay conservatives?
Well, there are female conservatives on there, sure. The gay conservatives, I don't know. You're going to have to tell me about that. But I am going to go with that whole marriage thing, that they ain't that many of them on the actual Supreme Court. I'm just saying. I'm not ruling it out. Don't get me wrong.
Or Asian conservatives?
Yeah, they don't have one of them either.
They have to point that out, right?
Well, the problem is it's kind of a narrow grouping on y'all's side of the aisle in the Supreme Court. As far as conservative judges that are in the Supreme Court right now, that's the point that he's making. I'm just trying to, all right.
Because that's what real racism looks like, guys.
As opposed to that faux racism, that kind of cubic zirconia racism that you guys sell in your gift shop.
Black Americans aren't allowed to think for themselves. They're only allowed to think the way they're told to.
Well, no, see, because Clarence Thomas, it ain't never been about him thinking for himself. He barely talks. He's the whole story with that dude was he just did whatever Scalia wanted him to do. It was weird. It wasn't that they had this outspoken conservative black feller on there telling them what's what. That probably been a good thing. You know, you get some in there like Thomas Sowell or one of them fellers, and get in there who's really got he's got something to talk about. Get one of them fellers on the Supreme Court, and he can tell you what's what as a black conservative. The problem was that the perception was, anyways, whether it's true or not, was that Clarence Thomas just did whatever Scalia did, like he was cribbing off his test.
Or they ain't black.
They ain't is an improper conjunction. I use it myself. I'm a fan.
Our great and fearless and incredibly articulate and well-spoken leader. You can't make this stuff.
I can't make stup. Hold on. No, I've yet to be able to create a word like stup. I just got through the word troop. Or trooped.
Incredibly articulate and well-spoken leader.
So here's a good idea, son. And I run into this all the time. I'm just trying to help you out. If you're going to shit on somebody for not speaking good, you should probably speak good at least till the end of the sentence. Know what I'm saying? It just, otherwise you look like, you out over your skis, son.
You can't make this stuff.
You can't make this stuff. Our articulate leader, you can't make this stuff. Okay, look, I will overlook the conjunction of ain't out of is not, are not, and not all getting shoved together with a couple of A's and I's and apostrophes and whatnot. I'll let that slide because that's become a colloquialism around. I almost choked myself to death saying that word, colloquialism. So sometimes I get worried if my teeth will bang together and one of them will fall out. I'm afraid I don't got a spare. So I'll let that one slide, son. But I'm not gonna let stuff up become stup. That's first of all, it sounds like you're choking to death. Second, it doesn't help. It just sounds like you talk too fast for your lips.
Being labeled a black SCOTUS judge is an Uncle Tom term.
Whoa. I don't know that they went that far. I think it's technically descriptive. Like you just did male and you did female and gay and you use these kind of as descriptive to let people know who they were. I don't necessarily. By the way, I don't know if you got time. You seem to have a lot of time on your hands. But there's this fella named Greg Kelly. He works down at Newsmax, and he ain't got a lot of friends. Nobody wants to hang out with him. Everybody thinks he's an asshole. And I just think you two would get along. I just think you guys could sit right across from each other and not say nothing and say something at the same time. You know what I mean?
You're a conservative, right? It's the bigotry of low expectations, folks. You see this again?
The bigotry of low expectations, folks. Son, the word is folks. It's got an L and a K in it.
Bigotry of low expectations, folks. You see this?
Folks. Folks ain't a fucking word. Stop abbreviating every goddamn word. You ain't country because you say ain't and then stup and then folks. Motherfucker, some of these letters have meaning. The hell is wrong with you, son? Folks. The fucker folks. Is that like a cross between folks and elites? Folks. Son of a bitch. I ain't leaving letters out like that.
Again and again. Racism against black conservatives is acceptable. It perhaps is even encouraged.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it is. And I think they're basically saying that this dude won't, if Clyburn talks to them, they ain't going to crib off of somebody else. They're going to do all their work. Because, never mind.
The Washington Post has...
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
Point out perhaps the most prominent conservative on the Supreme Court is a black guy, but maybe he just thinks like white conservatives.
Well, no, he the whole idea was that he just, never mind. We've talked about this.
Right? This is being propagated in the Washington Post, right?
It is. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't read the Washington Post, but it sounds like a great weekly periodical.
The Washington Post, right?
Yeah. And by the way, next time you're down at the newsstand, pick me up a copy of the Washington Post. I'm just saying it sounds like it's got a centerfold.
Right? This is being propagated in the Washington Post, right?
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. The stuff is being propagated in the Washington Post. You know what? It's a shame that Truth Social is not online right now. You could put this, you could actually release this. Son of a bitch, son. You're making me sound like an elite. I'm not even going to get to go home for Thanksgiving. Everybody's going to be doing, how you doing there, Mr. Man?
It's not white conservatism. It's just conservatism. Okay?
Okay. Dude, you are gacked out of your fucking gourd, aren't you? This is not a healthy look. And coming from me, I mean, I grew up Mountain Dew in a baby bottle. Let me understand. I have an IV drip going into my left leg, what's left of it, of Mountain Dew right now. I can't survive without the stuff. And still I look healthier than you. How's that work out? Son of a bitch, dude. I thought my eyes looked glassy.
His name is Justice Clarence Thomas. And he's probably the best we've got and the best we've had in a very long time. But
Well, I will say this. Of the conservatives on the bench, your dad appointed half of them, and he ain't one of them. So you may have a point there. You might have stumbled on something, son. I don't know if it's... Go tell your dad that the best conservative on the court is the dude he didn't appoint.
They don't think about that, right?
No, you certainly didn't. I will say that. It did not occur to you.
All conservatives. But again, that doesn't matter.
No, all that matters is that of the 6 that are on there that are on your side, the 3 worst are the ones your dad put on. I get you. I hear you. I told you. Look, I'd have a chip on my shoulder if he treated me the way he treated you too.
Oh, the bigotry of low expectations.
You already said that part. I know it's on the note card. Am I blocking you? Hold on. Let me lean back. It's right. It's right there. You already said that part. Move. There's 2 lines down. It's bigotry and low expectation. And then jump down, right there.
Racism.
You said racism too.
Hey, if you're on the left, how many other examples are there of this?
I don't know. You make a list. Go for it. I bet you got notes. Say it.
Counts, right?
Yeah.
You can be.
Hold on. How many examples are there? What?
Counts, right?
No, I missed that. What?
The bigotry of low expectations.
Right.
Racism. That's okay if you're on the left. How many other examples are there of this? Just counts, right?
Yeah, just counts of them. There's counts of them. There's like the count on fucking Sesame Street. There's counts of them. Sorry, dude. Do you mean fucking countless? Countless, not counts. The opposite of counts. Countless. You dumb motherfucker. How the hell? This dude went to university? Shit, I couldn't afford to go to school, one of them fancy-ass schools. Counts. God damn, son. Counts. Fucking, are your lips a rental?
You can be flagrantly racist if you're on...
Oh, thanks, man. That's nice. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's nice to know that that's the behavior standard in your house.
Towards a conservative, but if there's even ambiguity as to if something could be interpreted as racist the other way, you're obviously a racist. Just look at what...
Yeah, that people don't even bother to check.
Justin Trudeau did with the truckers, right? They're racist, they're misogynist, they're...
Well, they did have swastikas. I don't know if you saw that business, and that some of them's active white supremacists. You know, they never let me join. I don't know why. I was like, I'm white as shit, and they're like, Yeah, but it's the supremacy part you got a problem with. I'm like, well, I can outrun you fuckers. And then the bear caught him.
They're every ist, right, in the book.
Yes. Communist, Mexicanist, gerbilist, Marsist, marzipanist. I hate that shit, man. Give me some candy corn.
Why? Just because we don't like what they're saying.
Yeah, it's like an evil version of the Mickey Mouse Club. Why? Because we don't like what you're saying. M-O-U-S-E, Bill.
Anything actually to do with factual data, not anything to do with what's really going on. It's just easy because it's the easy button of the political left. You slam that button, you're a racist. That's it. We've won the argument.
That's crazy. There's a racism button? Holy shit. Does it eject you or does it... is it like an airbag?
And if that's not what we're talking about, even close, it doesn't matter. You're a racist.
No, it's, yeah. Yeah, you could be talking about, like, soccer, and you're like, why they have black spots on the ball and white spots on the ball? Is it an even number? Is one of them, is there an even number of them? And then the one that says the brand name of the ball on there, and somebody overhears that, and they're like, oh, my God, you're a racist. Do you know Greg Kelly? He needs a playmate.
We win because they have no argument. You've seen what they've done, whether it's about health decisions, whether it's about education decisions, whether it's about our children, whether it's about our borders, whether...
That's right. Yeah, they don't have any solutions. I mean, they passed a bunch of bills, and they had a bunch of legal shit in there, but they don't have any solutions. They're just passing a bunch of bills with stuff that they're going to do.
Our troops abroad, it doesn't.
Hey, man, if abroad wants to be a member of our troops, I say have at it. Women need to fight on the front line just like dudes do. Fair is fair.
Matter. The Democrats are failing us and continue to fail us every day.
Yeah, well, you do realize that as the right-wing opposition, they ain't exactly shooting for your goal. You know what I'm saying?
Just another example from the liberal elite.
Shit, that was the end? I'm all alone now in the darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I have lost Don Jr. again. He has not said anything that made sense. I'd rather listen to the farts of Mike Pence. But I sit here and I listen to the sounds of these hounds. And we wonder if it'll ever make any sense. All right, come on now. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for settling in there with. It's like I should have my own, like, Dollywood, like Ficus Wood or something like that. Shit, I got to get out of here. I'm actually scared. It's dark in here. Oh, boy. All right. And we're almost out of time, too. Like, I got 50. Do you like the song? Thanks very much. I do what I can. I think I have some time left. I got to go catch a plane. That's the thing. Is it all right if I tip out 15 minutes early so I can gather my shit up and get out the door? Because I got to catch a plane home, and I got radio tomorrow morning. I'm flying back to Vegas tonight. I just flew in this morning, and I'm flying right back out. That's why I'm stuffed up. It's a barometric pressure or something. God damn it. The problem is there's this too. The Democratic Party needs to be crushed. Come on. All right, a little bit of it, and then I got to go. Seriously. This is free.
There is a better way to make money with Amazon than selling physical products.
So
Introducing...
Tell you what's going on in this country.
Okay, tell me what's going on in this country. Life is happening. Liberty is happening. Levin is happening. I'll tell you what's happening in this country. This is Mark Levin on Hannity. Yeah, he's on Hannity right now, which means Hannity has the shits, and they call in Levin to go on a rant, and where he has it. That's it. So that Hannity can go take a dump.
The largest political party in this country hates America.
Oh, so you admit the Republican Party is dwindling and or are you claiming the Republican Party is gigantic?
They hate our security. They hate our Constitution. They hate our founders. They hate our framers. They hate our...
Huh. Do the Democrats and Republicans know about this party? Are they the eyes wide shut party?
They hate our history.
They hate our they hate powdering our bald heads. They hate our graphics. They hate our updated photos.
They hate our family structure.
Yeah, well, that of course.
And there's so much that they hate about America that
there's almost nothing left.
A vice president who's probably among the dumbest vice presidents in American history, and there have been many stupid ones.
Yeah, that's the spirit. Nothing says you love America like shitting on past vice presidents at random. Yeah, this country's been one heartbeat away from a dumbass multiple times.
Who makes comments about this country that are just so vile and so repugnant. And I would say this to Kamala Harris.
You don't know what it's like to be black. What would you say? What would you say, Mark Levin, if you could talk to a woman you'll never get a chance to talk to?
You need to go over to these military cemeteries and take a look. And take a look at all those crosses and those stars of David and think about all the men and all the women who...
Yeah, maybe say that to Trump, considering he wouldn't go to the dignified transfers.
...for this country that you trash.
Yeah, he's got to be playing a clip where she said something awful about the country. What is it? Or is he confusing? Is he going to play a clip of Michelle Obama saying this is the first time she's been proud of her country and then think it's Kamala? We're not there, are we? It's not that bad, is it?
Made who you are and what you are possible. Because God knows.
Yeah, but at the same time, it made who you are and what you are possible as well, Mark. So the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away.
Been invested into this country, what those people did and what those families did. The Democrat Party.
Yeah. Talk to the dude you like who shit on Gold Star families, fucko.
Hates our military, hates our cops. The Democrat.
Yes, we get it. Can you find something she likes? Ice cream? No, that's Biden. Donuts? Where's that shop she went to?
Party is selling us out to the communist Chinese, the fascistic Russians.
Selling them. All right. Basically, he's just saying everything Trump did or felt is what she feels. He's just bouncing it, just projecting it onto her.
Yeah, the fascistic Iranians.
You said fascistic already.
And the inbred over there in North Korea.
The inbred North Koreans? Oh, all right. Sure. Yeah. Oh, you mean the inbred best friend who was sending love letters to Donald Trump?
The Democrat Party.
So, by the way, Trump is still in contact with him. I don't think he's going to like the fact that you called him an inbred.
Is a force for bad in this country. They never promote liberty. They never promote individualism. There was a piece in the New York Times the other day trashing individualism. That's what the whole country is about.
Oh, I see. Did Kamala Harris write the piece in the New York Times?
We now have an individual in Canada
who is not a member of our government.
The same ideology. We actually now have a totalitarian regime on our northern border.
Oh, dear God. It's the Democratic People's Republic of Canada.
Let's not fool ourselves.
I'm not fooling ourselves. The Canadians are this close to becoming, it's North Canada.
But that prime minister, whatever the hell he is.
Prime mover, I think, is what he is. He's the prime directive. He's Optimus Prime. That's what he is. He's the Optimus Prime of the Canadian government.
Doing to the people of Canada is a...
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. They put this beautiful man on screen, and I'm just overwhelmed by his hairdo. I feel like I've died and gone to the Hardy Boys.
Lasting disgrace.
By the way, the ladies in red with the Canadian flags, I don't think that's a mistake. All I know is I suddenly need to buy lots of maple syrup.
He is the Vladimir Putin of Canada.
Putin? Putin?
And as soon as they have an opportunity,
they're going to attack. With what, I don't know. They're gonna throw toques and hockey pucks at us. Americans will have to use their neighbors as human shields. Kids in school will have to hide under their desks from hockey puck nukes.
To kick his ass out of that office and make sure they don't kick it down here.
Yeah. There's only a few cities up there, so it could be accident. It's very slippery.
It wasn't that long ago when we honored our nurses and our doctors, when we honored.
And now you and Trump supporters castigate them as demons who are trying to chip the populace or some shit.
Our police, we honored our truckers and all the men and women who aren't.
Hang out. Nothing against truckers, but we weren't like nurses, cops, truckers. It didn't work. I mean, don't get me wrong. Smokey and the Bandit's one of my favorite fucking movies, but tap the brakes, son.
Millionaire.
Sorry, pull the brakes. There's a second lever, and then there's one for the, I don't know, there's a lot of brakes in a truck.
To get dirt under their fingernails, who put their lives on the line to protect us through that pandemic.
Yes, dirty, dirty people protecting us. The fuck?
Before there were vaccines, before there were therapeutics, they would get sick and they would go to their jobs anyway.
And imagine if we had a pandemic response team so that there might have been things set up so they wouldn't have had to do that, or they would have been safe ahead of time and wouldn't have had to take their lives in their hands to do that. Imagine.
This country and Canada and all other countries they worked in function.
That's right. If it wasn't for those truckers driving back and forth from here to Europe and here to China, I don't know. All right.
They put food on our tables. They put gasoline in our automobiles. They did what we needed to do to survive as a country.
Yes, and 90% of the Canadian ones are vaccinated, and 75% of the American ones are vaccinated. The rest are retired or parked on the Canadian border.
As a country, when the Chinese unleashed this virus against us by not telling us about it ahead of time.
Yes, that's the one thing about a bioweapon, man. It's if it loses some of its oomph if you tell people about it ahead of time. Also, I mean, why did they need to tell us about it ahead of time? Trump knew better than everybody. He knew better than the generals about ISIS. He knew better than the economists about the economy. He knew more about disease than the scientists. Why we didn't need a pandemic response team.
Now, because they resist these mandates, because so many of them have
Canadian mandates?
Immunity, which the Israelis have said is multiple times more effective than any of these vaccines. Now they're the enemy.
Well, they're not the enemy. They just have different rules up there. And if they're going to truck stuff across, they either got to wear a mask or show proof of vaccination. But if they got natural immunity, then the argument should be they shouldn't be bothering the Canadians. They should be, going down to the CDC and honking and saying, I have natural immunity. That should qualify as a form of vaccination. Instead of interrupting school buses, people going to work, and ambulances because they want to go to Tim Hortons.
Sean Hannity in America, have you noticed the Democrat Party base and the left-wing base is never the enemy? The trial lawyers are never the enemy. The teachers' unions are never enemy.
What are you talking about? That's what you call us all the time. Dude, you just asserted that we hate every aspect of the country. Trump talks about the trial lawyers and teachers as the enemy. He called the fucking press the enemy of the people.
The front groups that want open borders, they're never the enemy.
What front groups are those? Oh, openborders.org.
The hard left in this country.
Hi there. Thought you wouldn't notice. Can't help it. It's the gleam bouncing off your head. Who wouldn't be? I'll show you hard left.
They're never the enemy. No.
The soft left.
No, today it's the truckers. Yesterday it was the parents. The day before that it was the nurses.
Yes. Yeah, I've got a list, and it's alphabetical, actually. We're attacking everyone.
In other words, middle America, the people who make this country work.
You do know the majority of nurses, for example, are in the high population centers. Just by volume.
The Democrat Party in this country.
Democratic Party.
Needs to be crushed.
Well, you're not going to. I'm sorry. Because if you crush us, who the fuck's going to get infrastructure week done? You're not going to. Republicans aren't going to go. Like, who's going to clean up every Republican fucking mess? You need us, asshole. You need us like Microsoft needed Apple. We're your R&D. We're the ones who actually come up with the good ideas, dipshit.
And I want the American people to understand something. You
Spanish.
have it within your power to take this country back.
Yes, take this country back before the Civil War, when things were simpler.
They will not be crushed unless you crush them.
All right. Well, that's not incendiary or fucked up.
And I'm talking to people, I don't care what your race is.
As long as it's white. Okay.
I don't care what you come from.
I don't care. You're cannon fodder. And the best kind of cannon fodder comes from all over. I just need you to attack people on my behalf. So I can sit here yelling in this modified garage.
The American people do not hate this country.
Right? But you want them to crush half the American people?
The way that AOC does. They do not hate this country the way Kamala Harris does.
I don't know. How do they hate it? Is it kind of like a naughty hate, like a spanking hate? Like you just, that kind of hate? What kind of hate is it? Is it chocolate hate? Is it raspberry hate? Vanilla hate? Is it banana hate? But please tell me it's banana hate. That's my favorite flavor of hate.
We love this country. You know how
I'm okay. I'm not gonna be late. I'll be okay. I'm not at 5 o'clock yet. I was just gonna get out early, but I'm fine.
Know it? Or we'd all pack up.
Yeah, we'd all go to Peter Thiel's oil rig.
Go somewhere else.
Somewhere else. You're expert on geography, ladies and gentlemen. Hundreds of other countries in the world. Can't think of one.
Borders are overrun with people who want to escape their lousy cultures and their lousy countries.
Is that why they're here? They're lousy cultures and their lousy countries? I know that's why my family came here. Is that why your relatives came here? Because their culture was lousy? Well, I'm glad your ancestors, Mark Levin, were motivated to bring their lousy culture to the United States. The fuck?
To come here. We have a Democrat Party.
Yes, we do. It's a Democratic Party because we believe in democracy.
It hates this country.
Are you broadcasting from Iran? Because I mean, the desecrated flag graphic threw me off. I assumed you were in the United States, but this could be. Are 9 guys in like Afghan robes with AK-47s going to walk in behind you? Are they making you make this video? Mark, fart twice for no.
That wants to centralize power. That wants to destroy our voting system.
Yes, and by the way, destroy our voting system. By that, he means the system he and the Republican Party want to set up where nobody can vote.
Wants to eliminate the importance of citizenship.
Oh, I can see. Eliminate the importance of it by giving it to too many, poor people. Ew.
Eliminate the importance of state sovereignty. We know exactly what we're dealing with now. They've exposed themselves.
Pardon me, sir. This is a Wendy's.
They have this fossilized leadership in Nancy Pelosi. Now, footnote.
Okay, good. I'm breaking it. Fossilized. Because old people suck and you shouldn't listen to them. Now, please continue, old man.
We Republicans, and I...
This is where he softens his thing. Gather round, kids. Pull a marshmallow out of your ass and cuddle up next to the fire.
Yes, I'm a Republican. We have fossilized leadership, too.
Okay, now I can't attack it. Great. I got one toed by Levin. Now he's going to shit all over the Republicans, and all I can do is smile wryly to myself.
You had Kevin McCarthy on this program who superbly laid out what the agenda is for the House.
But he's too stupid to carry it out.
When and if they took over the House.
When and if they took over the House. I like the brain fart moments, Mark. That's really good.
Who superbly laid out what the agenda is for the House. When and if they took over the House.
When and if they took over the House. Huh? Fuck you, buddy. When and if they took over the House.
Has Mitch McConnell laid out the agenda for the United States Senate if the
No.
Republicans take over the Senate?
No, all he's trying to do is get Republicans to win in Senate races like an asshole.
He was asked about it directly by a reporter, and he said, well, we won't be pushing the Biden progressive agenda. Well, that's very heartwarming. And then he says, we want to have bipartisanship. We want to meet somewhere in the center with our Democrat friends so we can get things done.
Yeah, like infrastructure, because they know that in the Senate, that's a statewide race, and you can get a bunch of nutcases elected in smaller districts like MTG. But if you want to run statewide and then national, you got to actually be able to talk to people across. Sorry, the center is way fucking bigger than either party.
Mitch McConnell, if he's not thrown out Republicans, will never advance.
Yeah, go for it. Good luck. I mean, from your lips to Zod's ears, knock yourself out. Yeah, yes. You have to crush the Democratic Party, according to Mark Levin. But first, Mitch McConnell. After you get rid of Mitch McConnell, then you can crush. I mean, obviously, they're the biggest party in the country because the Republican Party is a shadow of its former self and is a shitty waste of space.
He's fossilized. He's a disaster.
He's fossilized and he's a disaster. Okay.
We need smart, new, revolutionary leadership.
No, we don't. We have a system of government. We don't need a revolution. Shut the fuck up with your brainless libertarian fapping.
That's it.
Want to see more?
But that's it. I'm done. That's how he gets out. And they cut back, and I guess they went to commercial when he said that because usually Sean Hannity comes back and calls him the Great One. But I guess he pinched one off too soon, and it took him a little time. So yeah, he wants. The dream of Mark Levin is that is Matt Gaetz runs everything. Gaetz, Green, 2024. Knock yourself the fuck out, Republicans. Thank you guys for joining me. See you tomorrow on the House Sparks radio program, Megaworldwide on WCPT Radio. We'll be live from the regular house. I got to go catch a plane. You're awesome. Remember that. Stay awesome. Until I see you again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for subscribing. Twitch.tv/HouseParks. Subscribe! There's a bunch of people following. You guys should subscribe. Half of you. If half of you subscribed, we'd be kicking ass and taking names all over that site. For Pete's sake. Subscribe! How are we supposed to take over? I'm ice skating uphill. I'm a youngin'. I've only been here 2 years. I'm up against sites that have been on this network on YouTube and on Twitch for nearly a decade. For real. Okay, I'll see you later. I'm going to sign off or whatever. This is the end of the show. This is the end of the show. I gotta go. Because this is the end of the show. See you guys tomorrow.